Well, I might just use my camera for some of this stuff. So we took off the bottle here. We got to replace it. That piece is broken. It was leaking from that spot. I uploaded a short. You guys will see it pretty soon. So we're here. We got this off. And when I pulled that off, you barely saw any fluid flow out of it. So as far as they were concerned with the heater core, they could be right. But now what we got to do is we've got to grab that. We'll grab a pair of pliers and we're going to try to loosen it. They're my tools. I should know where they're at, right? Maybe this one. There we go. Open up jaw. I'll just show you guys, but I used the hook picking and I got behind it and I broke the bond, the cohesive bond, and then you just grab that hose and you try to work it back and forth and then give it a tug, but be careful. So that came off. Now we're gonna have to go inside and there's probably gonna be a lot of video I'm not gonna show you, but I'll show you how I did it. So next, you're gonna have to remove this trim piece, which I set gently over there, but to do that, you're also going to have to remove those, and those require T25 Torx. So you take both of those out, then you can pull this trim piece. I know we have to do this. This has to come out, so I think that's the next step. I'm going to show you how I got to this point. So there's a screw over there, and there's a screw right here. And then you have to take this entire tray here out, because that also holds it in place. You need to pop out, let me come back this way. You need to pop that piece out, which is there, unhook it there. You also need to unhook that from the main control, and there is a red safety tab, as you can see over there. So just make sure you pull that tab first. And there's one more thing you got to do. There's a boot that goes around that. And that's right here. And to get that off, there's like a little button. So you pop the button off, and then you just rotate it this way, slide it that way. It should come up right now. So we're to the point now where I think what has to happen is we've got to pop that piece outward carefully. And then we've got to push the tabs on this so that that can come out, and then we have to take those bolts here and over here out, because this shifter does probably have to come off to clear this piece. I know we still have a lot to go. So that piece isn't as easy as you think it is to remove. You have to pop this up because it's an adjustment, but mark your spot. I just used a blue here we go. I know you guys totally missed that, but then you can pull it out. Just push forward, pull it out. All right, so we got that out, and I just put those nuts back there. So I think our next move for now, we're gonna take those two out, and then that one there, and that one there. By the way, these are 10 millimeters. There's a little tab that goes here from the kick panel. When you go to pull that off, you can just pull up this piece a little bit here, and then pop there, but you got to get one of these trim tools in there. Where's the longer one? It's over there. So I'm going to do that side too. But you got to get in there and pop that piece out, or you might end up breaking it. And then to pull out the glove box, you got to slide it. You got to pop it down and then slide it to the right. And then this piece just should pop out, but be really careful. Just grab a flathead and just work it real slow so you don't break anything. And then I got the underneath pieces down there off. Whoops. And the next we're going to do is drop the steering column out. And I think the steering column. Alright, so those bolts in there, 13s. Yeah, my hand's in the way. Be quiet. couple 13s, then there's 13s for the ones that go over the, 13s for the ones that go over the top. You need to take this cover off, get a T15, but you need to get you one of the, where'd it go? One like this, okay? Because you're not gonna get in there without this. Once you get that cover off, then you can start pulling the wiring harnesses off for the steering column. There's also a 13 bolt here. I hope the steering column is one directional. I haven't pulled it out yet to see. But I know it goes back straight because the wheels were straight when I drove in. But you're going to have this piece here. I'm not a mechanic, so I don't really know what this is. Feel free to enlighten me, anybody. But it goes into the ignition, and you have to turn the ignition to accessory, and then you can pull this tab and pull it out, otherwise it's not coming out. Okay, so here's where we're at. All these bolts up here came out, then I started playing where'd everything go, right? Bad idea. So you have a bunch of stuff to disconnect under here. Those have to come out. We still have a couple bolts under here that one there and one there. We pulled that whole thing apart, took the bolts, there was a couple bolts in here out, and then underneath the steering column there's 4 bolts, and then the 2 there, and I got to pull that far. Also pulled those harnesses just in case. But what we're going to try after on both that bottom piece is just to pull this back far enough to get that box out, because you can see the heater core there. So if we could clear it to get it out, we might be able to clear it to get it back in. So this is a tough one, but you got to be careful. Pry back as hard as you can, pull it out, pull it in. You can obviously see we got a little scrape mark there.
Emotional damage.
So now the fun part's going to be getting all the pieces back on. I'm going to share you my struggles a little bit. So if these holes don't line up in here, you're not getting nothing done. So I sat there and fought a little bit with this, and what I realized was I needed to loosen or remove those bolts there to give me enough room so you can pry this back a little bit. Then you've got to push this up over it, and then once you put it in, your bolts will line back up. Okay, so this was the old one. It had flow coming through here, but it was still leaking, and I'm hoping this is what I was asked to do. So I mean, you can obviously see that it was leaking, not just that I dumped it, but like here and there, all the way through, and you replaced it. And I just put it back together. You guys saw the process of taking it apart. I did some other things I wasn't sure about, but once you can get that pulled this way, just getting it slipped out, you have to be really careful because it's going to get caught right on the firewall over here. So pull up, pull back, and just really easily work it. If you've got to pry on the box slightly, I would. I'm sure there's another way to do it. It was just the quickest way for me to do it, but it took me from like 7 in the morning until 2. So I'm not going to be like, this is a 10-minute job. It's not. It takes several hours. And so right now, where we're at, since everything's haul hooked back up, is we're just waiting for that new reservoir. And it was leaking through the pinch clamp. I know a lot of you like those pinch clamps, but I'm not a fan. Excuse me. So I put one of these clamps on. So when we get the reservoir, we'll get it all put in, put some new fluid in, and then we'll check it out. Tell the mechanics. What happened? It disappeared. I kind of slacked a little, guys. So we got the bottle in, got it up to temperature. It's nice and hot. It was a heater core. Definitely done. Like and subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, it did take me several hours. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Any feedback? Thanks, guys.